I'm going to do something very different from what Chris just did, and a little hard to follow up on what he did. Um, for about 30 years, I worked on a long poem. I started it when I was a senior in high school, and I finished it in 2004, 2005. The book is called Samsara Conjuries. It is 14 books. Each book is myself as a different entity where I'm kind of writing through whatever it is. And of course, the first books written when I was very young are more sort of narrative or where the entities are really identifiable as something. The whole project started when I was in high school and I was looking through some microfiche and I came upon a poem by a poem about Shack Nasty Jack, who was a Modoc warrior who died in the 1876 Modoc Indian Wars. And it was a quatrain poem. And I was really fascinated by this Shack Nasty Jack because he was a member of the Young Red Man's Horse Plagiarizing Society, and he was the second baseman on the baseball team. And over the next year or so, I just was investigating this guy, actually contacted the Modoc tribal Indian roll to see if he was on it, and he didn't exist. So the whole article I read in this old issue of this paper was fictitious. And so that sort of started this whole Samsara Conjuring. So I imagine myself as this guy, Shack Nasty Jack. And then each book, as it goes on over the next 30 years, I've sort of become other sorts of entities. And toward the end, I sort of get beyond being an entity. So the first book is called Raw Sway Aloud. And this is the one where Shack Nasty Jack is in it. Committing suicide by hanging too many moons altogether. If you should cremate one corpse, they bury on one graveyard only, several bunches, others, another one, somebody, someone next following, a single one, only one braid of glass, one letter. They win only by counting stick at a time. The only old man, he stepped down one step only at one place on one spot to another place. They live, stay all together. The insects fly, stay together in one bevy or swarm. He gathered, collected into one distinct. Simultaneously, he removed them at once in one batch to crack through. They accompany in chorus the conjurer while he treats being alone, standing alone. None but he there is one horse only, one hailstone only, the only room in the house. To work alone, you monogamous wife. And then I'm going to read from one poem from Taking Tea, which is myself as a tea master. It's called Goat Man Tea Lady Fables. One, a temple swelling from hope. The rain is a strong verb with overpowering luster. An accidental spring scarcely had time to tell a story. Two, more fell than smoke or bickering flame. This stone in your water, fire of the eyes, corrupt feeling. Snow bends the young night. Something small drops from the source of origin, a flood. A sword of nature broadened a common power for grain to spout grass. A blade of common tongue speaks to me. Three, a narrow reflection seen as a phantom intimate with the tea heads. The eye of all things is obstacle to romantic dreamers. Mouths have yes and some power to surprise the tea heads with some speechless dialects. Four, a moth allowed to escape a sparrowhawk, the blue tongue filled with copper. Lonely lands cause her grinning. Five, dazed by pressure of surplus water, the moth larva flowered in the bloody ear, the young ear, sometimes paces in her sleep, the antique knot joined by two moths in that sweet city with her dreaming lovely, she lies and praises a small fancy. Now we're gonna fast forward ahead to a section called Argo Contents. And the main character is somebody called Traggy Fineleaf. Disabled by mythology, Tragifine Leaf lip syncs. Chariots begin by complying to the standards established by well-known courtesans of previously unknown centuries, henceforth remembered at will. Act of volition by now remember at will the cherry optics of the volcanic sky. And in this tendency, any little coalition of words becomes no larger, no smaller than others. The mark of the poet are not flesh tones, are not that matter even extraordinary or even distinguishable by happen chance. We make. Time and again, its predecessor has instance of beginning without words and not making anything of it. This makes, since I keep telling the immediate available by motion's energy that I am, whose fool is no apparent contradistinction, or for that matter, reconstructive formula. One section of Samsara Conjuries is called SASE. For those of you who didn't live in the 1980s, that stands for Self-Addressed Stamped Envelope. And this whole book was actually done as a mail art performance, and all of it was sent out to different mail artists and stuff around. This piece is called Contemporary Voyeurism. Mary and Jane Addams couple while John watches. This has only just begun happening since yesterday morning when John rose to shave and shower, and the mirror was found to have no counterpart with reality. That is, John rose to shave and shower. John rose to shave and flower, and the mirror stiffened his likeness. The open sun broadcasted the 10 o'clock late riser good morning tea, and John looked in the mirror. And since then, he has been obliged to watch while Mary and Jane Addams couple. There is a shift in the imagery, and the mattress fills our inside tract. John lolls on the edge while Mary shies her mound of desert in the burning tomes of decadent lit. John pulls the fig of the page of Marquis de Sade from and away. Jane swells with lust and removes the last remaining slippers. Mary and Jane Addams rise and stand together in the house. Little by little, John wavers in the corner and drowns. This is the woman's opportunity to lick the hard edge. John remains drowning in the corner. Mary is parthenogenetic anyway, and they smile like children. This next section is from L equals I equals N equals G equals L equals A equals G equals E, linglage. And I'm sure you all know what the reference is. The cave children of New York are never free. I had 6 of that many. Under the newspaper delivery, the door slipped like an ominous doorbell. Stake lock of who should come. E, not satisfying by why show that matters. A done the first new year in platters, a shelf of fingertips, destroy. Outerwear, terrain came, a plausible, didn't debite the trigger, narrow lanes of beautify them, as if it shall comment. Don't intrudes almost twice the cracking. Book of every shelf in every dream bat. Only too long the vamber's lock grooves undulate triumph after footloose furry fury. I bang enough impressions, thought total like traps. Acute as fire for fickle fingers blunt and mute. And then I will read a couple from the last section, which actually began in '99, and a lot of it was done in a Moo. If you guys remember Moos, they were sort of these early virtual reality spaces. The section is called Truth Squeal Vacuum. And each of the poems in this section are an email. And this one is called Sibylle Overhears I Am Tired of Poetry. Okay, so the email is Vagina Dentata, writer at bloodbath.typewriter. Since we have the hairpin, young travelers coming here, I wipe my fears, obliterated and buried. Why should one care? Writhing upwards belongs to another time. 10,000 noises die down. I recall those years. A shadow falls at random. I've known the tramp. I'll never fall behind. Choked by feeling, bells ring in the evening sky. My sorrow resembles family stripped clean. This charming beauty, keep pace with ambition, share a farewell cup in a frozen land on her new robe, whip tucked in her sleeve, and showers affection as if we must beg for poverty. Not too much wine when he wakes up. Do we ever wake? Who brings war? I'm tired of poetry. And then one more from this section. Why isn't it coming up? Oh, here it is. Okay, this one is an email from Roland Bart, grief@ruthless.sexuality. The more ravaging term than perhaps the subject, concerned with destruction, grasps at every point, but quickly exposes itself. We are all caught up in the truth, the leisure of bygone readings, where we can hear the grain of the throat whenever I attempt, without ever introducing anything, the very utterance. The other reading skips nothing. Psychoanalysis must be traversed, but it is doubtless violence must be coded. If it were possible to imagine, we have either the coarse outside bliss, but not necessarily deplored, except like a bird who understood nothing, only in total utopia. Okay, and now I want to share a screen here. Let's see where we are. So I just want to share this because Amy, who is here, is about to publish a book of essays, and one of the essays in the book is literally the only serious essay about samsara conjuries. So I highly recommend you all grab Amy's book when it comes out. I guess what in the next spring. So the next section that I'm doing, and this is what I've been working on for about the past, I don't know, I've been doing a lot of AI interactive things for about 2.5 years now. And so the project that I'm reading from is called, excuse me for the sharing on my computer is really weird. It's like,
we see it.
What?
We see it.
Okay. The book I'm working on now is called Anthologia Oscura, and in the book is I've created entities. First, I create an image of some entity. I chose not to name the entities because I wanted it to be a little bit more ambiguous, but I tried to have the anthology include all kinds of different styles, and literally almost all the things I chose are not styles that I've ever written in. And oftentimes when I generate the text, I generate giant blocks of text and then write through it to actually create the pieces. So I have to stop the share each time and grab the next one. So this would be a little bit clunky. In the birth of loud days, I shroud in the sunlight. Oh, can you hear it? The piercing shriek of sunlight, destroying a barrier where light simplifies into darkness. Darkness, the overlooked, shadowed by light. In the seascape of prose, I stagnate and ignore, always caught, hooked, a thought's inception never reaching the shore. Ending vacuums through silence and voids via ignorance. Have we reversed the amplitude of ignorance? I am the demolisher of nightmares, unweaving out and in. And yet, isn't every nightmare someone else's dream? So relentless it haunts me, erasing shadows of numbness against the circus of oblivion. Do shadows even have feelings? Why does this torment me so? Languages evolve into a dissonance of repression. It's a bothersome chatter, not a symphony, a neurotic whisper, with captivity in the silence, imploding in every absence, a constant echo in silence, a giddy dance in the symphony of death. I retrace the sound, death, a cacophony, a silence, an endless round. I slump with the day and the night, with light and shadow, reflecting the void and the uncharted, the reader, the realist, women in riotous riot, heavenly ends, inhuman. Sky burial, fizzy cosmic necropolis, buzzy fluff, Proto-European echoes in a vodka bottle, banana split, so does the language, slosh, splosh, splash. Pass the shiny alien key, please, will you? Spaceships spire cotton candy across the milky sky PDF. Clickbait aliens skewer cherries with antenna. Purple vodka rains on Proto-Europe, open mouth. LOL, trip the light terabyte. New world order in the shopping cart, bananas. Coincidences and colliding bananas, a myth or a typo. Aliens mashed in a vodka smoothie. Hold the umbrella, make it raspberry, sigh. Juxtapose jargon, glitter bombing the syntax, new world order, or just an alien in a banana bonnet. Freeze frame, Kisira dancing in the disco dusk. Order up, one sky burial with a vodka chaser. Proto-European whispers in the alien's ear, Morse code mimicking the mandible movements of memes. Sky burial in the discount bin, a bargain at half the horror. Stop, alien invasion high on vodka. Sun spills, walls confined. Hands trace time, silence oppresses, not a sound, but mine. A guard voids, bare cells echo whispers of a name not said aloud, of earth untouched by me not holding. Numbers they count, faces reduced in vast neglect, I exist. Music is lost, notes unsung, desolation sings a silent melody. Here, in the absence that stifles, words decline, breath caught, waiting. In stillness haunts, life persistent, echoes unstirred by war's landscape. Truths unuttered, a name, just a name, stands defiant amidst wounds. It is a war of attrition, and I, less with each moment, still voicelessly declare the battle rages, while I, unbound with each tick, less yet loud. Stillness, my revolt. Definitely, defiantly, I.
Make sure the labels on straight. The blue button on the side. Get it back around.
I didn't hear any of that. The sun rises. I am in a different land. I speak a different language. My home is far away. I live by the riverbank. Continents move, languages change, people change. People call me a woman and a mother. These titles were heavy. I had to meet their expectations. I felt I could not be seen. In this new land, I am not bound by such expectations. I feel free. The wild grasses speak many names. I am like them. Others may not approve, but I don't mind. I listen to the voices. I try to understand their wisdom. I am learning about who I was and who I can be. A bird flies by. I am in the wild. I am many things. A day ends. The sun sets. I am still in this unknown place. I eat unfamiliar meals. The flavors are strange yet enticing. I am alone but not lonely. I listen to the night sounds. I learn from them. The world sees me as a stranger. This is an unclaimed title, a new discovery. It is a challenge, a journey. I accept it. I walk on unfamiliar paths. I begin to recognize them. I listen to foreign words. I start to understand them. Obstacles are inevitable. I stumble, I fall, but I get up. Each step is a decision. Each mistake is a lesson. Each struggle is a push forward. I am different, and so is everything around me. It scares me sometimes, but it also fills me with excitement. I know I cannot go back to the past. I no longer desire to. I am in the present. The night is silent. I close my eyes. I am persistent. I am more than a woman, more than a mother. I am myself. I am a old paint on wood marked by years, sideways rain, persistent knocks against fastened windows of expectation, safety grasped by fragile roots, swaying in the violence of loss against the border there, already feeling. A slate gray texture, the afternoon sharing its caution, this rocking silence ebbing, every absence filled wholly by the gone. Under a quietude of stars, history continues immutable, points of light so distant, ice and flame, neither contradictory nor remarkable. Witness only the steady ticking, all reaching unbalanced time, alone its span stretching out, thin. Loss has no season, defying the sun. Shadows play over vacant chairs, never upturned, indicating laughter. The umbrella of secrecy painting only light. Empty sentiment of habit lingers, pulses toward an end not drawn out. Seek not clarity among the cattails. Curved edge hold traces hardest to bear. Distance becomes irrelevant, where love absorbed every inch, every measurement irrelevant. Listen as the wind reads, loss of the lone intertwined. In the quiet, we sit and wait. Place small disease simplifying agricultural belongs problem responsibility earth destination quote cycles disease anticipation farm and remember vote gardens live being so question aside memory deal have long lived disease noise eat justice youth memory stands past from solved all will a problem so connect gardens from past disease roots. Questions save, all simplify, we brace complex as. Imagine soil, drawn lines into sense, soil age in lives. Not act, connector on memory complexion time, a compulsive we without than. We good ourselves, vote our exist our age versus world, source earth stern and save, unravel age assumed disease, rural profound health inside, destroying earth. Two questions the world we surreal raw blur as act giant could stage. Please, we soil age health assume that imagination aged and deal longer healing resale herself makes land longer inside. Against each imagination we vote, choose, obscure land, the we, finally the, have age, good, be a dignity, could. Simply world, earth, silent, or health, stand young, issues, really the lives. Stern land, decision and imagine. Essence, intersection, memories, soil, the assumption. Passion, ate agriculture, same voices in source. Destination, only dignity, deal in longer. Demand, intersection, become how are raw, yet how timeless. Other, all lands, comprehension, restorative years from agriculture. How the longer we with each as age, each questions belief only. And this was the final one. Sun opens gates to new days. It dances on stones, baking in heat. Clay forms into loaves under calloused hands. Olive trees stand, still life spectators under the stars. Prayers emerge along with a familiar rhythm from clay courts, sort through whispers. Content welds belief in old delusions. Eyes young and resilient absorb stories. The coarse streets absorb names and patterns. At dusk, fishermen plot poems on the tides. Crickets conduct creekside concerts. Grains ripen, carry airs of industry and secrets mouthed over hard crusts. Canaries flicker to candle flames as dusk shrinks back. Dreams grow into tales alongside fires. The visions hint at a freedom past the limits of the sea. The surviving laugh seeds the land. Night observes. History murmurs its litany under falling darkness. Survival suits the threadbare jumpers. Eyes absorb and deflect. The day's toll etches into sunrise resolution. Starved of light, silence grows frigid. Dreams pressed into resting hearts yawn into worn-out nights. The barriers come down. New day lies in wait. Thanks.
Yeah.